It's Hymnodia on radio, the special edition. My name is Shola Rogers and I'm not alone. I've got with me someone who I feel doesn't want to be here now. Not like he's not happy to be here, but he doesn't want to be here now. Am I right? But it's all good, isn't it? Okay, so once again, I bid you a warm welcome to Hymnodia on radio. My name is Shola Rogers, and this is your Hymnodia 30-minute special, courtesy of our friends and brothers from Hymnodia. So, who am I sitting next to, sitting in front of? Who is here? And I'll give you the chance to introduce yourself.
Hello everyone. My name is Dr. Jacob Enenche Okwori. I'm Hymtestant number 15, Hymnodia season 2, taking part with the name Enenche.
Hymnodia season 2.
Yeah.
Dr. Jacob Enenche Okwori.
Enenche.
Enenche is the name that everybody likes to call you. Is that your first name? Is that your surname?
No, Enenche is actually my middle name. My first name is Jacob. My surname is Okwori.
Alright, so Enenche Jacob Okwori is your surname. But your surname has not really been prominent. What's going on? You're just basically one of those people who like the one name thing, right? Is that your thing?
Well, I took up the. I decided to use Enenche as my name whenever I'm doing anything related to music. I developed that as my style way back from my days in the university. So I have Jacob. Everyone knows me as Jacob in my professional circle, Jacob Okwori. In church, everyone knows me as Jacob Okwori, but no one really knows the name Enenche. So when I decided that I wanted to take my music, the musical aspect of my life seriously, I said whenever I'm doing anything music, I'll be using the name Enenche.
Alright, so welcome Enenche to Boom Radio. I hope you're having a good time already.
Yes, I am.
Alright, Enenche. Yes. I must get the name right. Enenche.
Yes, Enenche.
Contestant number 15.
Yes.
Your journey did not start in season 2.
No, it didn't.
Your journey started in season 1.
Yes.
So let's go back to season 1 and talk about it. How did you first even get to hear about Hymnodia?
Okay, I was on a WhatsApp forum. It's the Catholic Musicians Forum. So someone just dropped.
There's a Catholic Musicians Forum.
Yes.
Wow.
So I was on the WhatsApp forum, and then we just had a small singing contest that was organized by the forum. So someone forwarded the link for the flyer, the online flyer for Hymnodia. So I saw it. I said Hymnodia. I quickly went to the website to read about it. So I wasn't planning to take part in Hymnodia, funny enough. So I forwarded the link, the e-flyer, to my choir page and tried to encourage every member of my choir to take part to audition. So during the process,
you encourage everybody, but not you,
but not myself, because
wow.
I didn't think I was in the right frame of mind then to want to take part in a contest. So my siblings kept nudging me that you have to send in your video. I've sent my own. Have you sent your own? I said I've not sent. I kept on delaying. So when I saw that everyone that loved hymns was kind of keen into it, sending their videos, I said, okay, let me give it a try. So I sent in my video entry on the closing date, I think.
On the closing date?
Yes, that was when I finally decided to send my video. So when they publicized the names of those who made it to the first 200, my name was there. I quickly ran to Lagos.
Where were you then?
I was in Abuja.
All right.
I was in Abuja. I was waiting for ASU to call off. I was waiting for ASU to call off the strike so that I could write my exams. But since it looked like the strike wasn't going to be called off in the soonest time, I decided to get into something else. So I quickly ran to Lagos, and God helped me. I was able to make it into the Institute then.
All right. So that's how you made the top 200
And then,
some of the people that you encouraged to get involved, did they make it to the top 200?
Well, I won't say my siblings were the ones that encouraged me, so I wouldn't say. So my siblings and I made it into the
top 200.
Yes, then one of our choristers also, Tobechi, she also made it into
the top 200.
The top 200.
All right, so the screenings, everything, and you got selected to be one of the last men standing. That was 14 contestants from season 1.
Yes, 14.
And you were one of them.
Yes.
But something happened along the way.
Yeah.
What was it?
So we made it into the Hymnstitute. We're all happy, but there was an issue. I was a final year student.
What were you studying?
Medicine. I was a final year medical student.
Which school?
At the time, University of Abuja. So I came into the contest because ASU was on strike. And then just as I was stepping into the house, I think the Tuesday or the Wednesday of that week, ASU called off the strike.
Wow.
And I had to leave.
How did you go about it? Who did you go talk to? Did you talk to the executive producers first? Or was it the dean? Or how did you go about it?
Thankfully, before we even got into the Hymnstitute, when I received the call that I was part of the final 14, I immediately let the executive, the
producers,
the project manager. I didn't know who it was that called me at the time.
You didn't know?
I didn't know. So I told them that I asked them. I said, "How long are we going to be spending?" He said, "It's 14 stanzas." I said, "Wow." He said, "What's the problem?" I said, "The challenge is that I didn't know that it was going to be this long. I'm actually a student, a final year student, and I decided to come for the show because ASU was on strike. I thought it's something that would round off sooner than 14 weeks, even sooner than 2 weeks." So he said, okay. So I said, "Let me ask a little question." He said, okay. I said, "If I got into the house and then ASU called off the strike, would I be allowed to go and sit for my exams?" And then the person on the other end of the phone said, was like, "Yes, of course, we won't stand in the path of your..."
On the phone?
Yeah.
You had not even met with them one-on-one?
Yeah.
Wow.
So after that, I said, "Can I ask another question?" He said, "What?" I said, "Okay, if you allowed me to leave for my exams, would it also affect the chances of my taking part in the contest?" He said, "It will not affect the chances of your taking part in the contest. That we will do everything to promote you both in your academic life and then also help you with your talent, your God-given talent." So when it happened that I think it was God that gave me that insight to let them know everything up front. So when we got into the house and then it turned out that ASU called off the strike,
you had to leave.
I had to leave.
And they let you go. But the contestants that were there at that time, what was it like for you when you were leaving? And what was it like for them?
I don't want to give you the full details. It was kind of embarrassing. I don't think I've ever cried so much in my life before.
Wow.
Because it was a whole emotional mix. I was like, that after coming this far and then because I think it was quite emotional for me because I came in with my siblings. So there was the thought of, if I didn't qualify, maybe if I didn't put up for this, maybe one of them would have gotten in and then stood a better chance of taking part.
They would have stayed.
And then they would have stayed. And then I wasn't also quite sure at the time. Because I was like, okay, they may have said this on the phone, but okay, what happens now that it has actually,
reality?
It has actually become a reality. So I wasn't quite sure what. I said, well, let me just leave and go and finish my exams.
Oh, wow. This is Boom Radio NG. My name is Shola Rogers, and I'm with contestant number 15, Enenche, Dr. Jacob Enenche Okori.
Yes.
And we can call you Doctor now because that is part of the success story for me of Hymnodia. Like, you came in, final year medical student, but you had to take your leave.
Yes.
And you left. Season 2. Fast forward to season 2. How did that happen?
Okay, so since I knew I had already been given automatic entry for participation in Hymnodia season 2, immediately after I finished my exams, I resumed job as a house officer at the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital. So I already had an idea that Hymnodia begins in the month of February. So normally we are supposed to have a week break after each 3 months of work. I didn't take any break at all.
So you just...
Yeah, so I merged everything in trying to meet up with
Hymnodia.
With Hymnodia. So it turned out that I finished my house job on time, but I had a little delay signing out of the hospital.
Bureaucratic bottlenecks and all of that.
So I couldn't resume on the day of resumption at the Institute. I was given 2 days to tidy up and arrive. And thankfully, thanks be to God, I was able to meet up with all the deadline, and I arrived at the Institute, and my journey in Hymnodia Season 2 started.
Alright, so Hymnodia Season 2, Enenche is in the house with 14 new contestants.
Yes.
Is there, by virtue of being a Season 1 qualifier, but was given a leeway to go finish up at school and come back, then you meet a new set of people, and the bonding starts all over again. Everything starts all over. The old training and suddenly, boom, COVID-19, and there was a break. So this break, how did it work for you? Because I asked, we had Jessica and Victor here last week, and of course, very lively set of people. I was having fun just sitting down with them and all of that, and I asked them the same thing. What were you doing during the break? What did you do towards getting ready for Hymnodia? Because you knew Hymnodia was going to continue. Yeah. Hymnodia would definitely continue once the all clear was given by the government to say, you know what, we can start doing these things again.
So during the course of the break, that was caused by the pandemic, I engaged myself. I went back to look at my previous performances.
Wow. So you did like a self-appraisal?
Yes, I did a self-appraisal to see where I had challenges. So I tried my possible best to work on those challenges. I also reflected on the comments that were made on my performances by the judges, and I tried to make improvements and improve in that regard. I also did some online courses to keep myself busy. But basically, I had to remain in Lagos for the entire period of
the lockdown.
I just had to stay in Lagos because there was restrictions were placed on interstate travel and all that. I think that's no news. So I remained in Lagos, and believe you me, it was not a funny experience being idle. I'm not used to being just idle, sitting
doing
nothing. So it was really quite a challenging period for me, but thanks be to God, we were able to pull through.
All right, thanks be to God, we were able to pull through. Sounds like a line in one hymn that you might write for us very soon.
Amen.
You know, so Hymnodia is a different kind of reality show. Every time I call Hymnodia a reality show, I cringe myself, because I think if we call it a reality show, we're bringing it to the level of some reality shows. But it's just English, right? We're not trying to do semantics or anything now. So, being a part of this Hymnodia, you have been through different processes, trainings and all of that. Tell me, you talked about going back to do a self-appraisal during the break. The judges, very experienced people, Ige, Ben Ogbewi, Yinka Davis, the master himself, the master of hymns, as in when it comes to hymns, this man's name is synonymous with hymns, and of course the rector and all of them. What would you say has been the impact of working with the entire Hymnodia crew, especially the faculty, in your life as a musician?
Okay, when I first came into Hymnodia, even beginning from season 1, I came in with the mindset of learning new things and unlearning practices that I may have indulged in the past, musical practices. So I think one of the things I found encouraging, and it really boosted my confidence and my morale, was whenever we're given tasks to make arrangements, and you are presenting the task with quivering, trembling hands to the faculty, to someone like Mr. Sheun Owaji, and then he says, okay, sing it, let's hear you. And then you finish singing and he's like, it's good, it's fine. There's nothing to add.
Coming from
someone,
yeah,
someone like that. I don't have any professional training in music. All I do is based on talent and then knowledge I've acquired over the years in choirs. So when you hear that from someone who is well exposed, experienced, is vast, you're like, wow, that means you were actually doing this one right. So I think that has given me a moral boost and much more confidence in some things I've been doing before. Then when it came to the time of our performances, preparation for renditions, Judge Iggy, I must say she's if I'm to use an adjective to describe her, I'll use the word phenomenal, because her instructions are quite precise, and once you do what she has asked you to do, you see
the results
almost immediately. So the classes we had with her, I would say they were really enriching. I'm very sure that I'll be borrowing all what she taught us to use with my choirs and then even for myself in the future. Then for Judge Yinka Davis, Judge Yinka Davis was someone that I think I learned how to pay close attention and respond to the emotion that an artist is trying to convey. I think I was able to pick that from Judge Yinka Davis, because she listens to you. She doesn't say anything professional. She tells you what impact emotionally your rendition has had on her. So I think that is another aspect that even as a musician, one should really improve on, develop, if you are going to impact a wider audience with your music, with your craft. So I think I've picked that from Judge Yinka Davis. Then from also Judge Olawo Sunday, paying a critical ear to details. Judge Olawo Sunday would listen to your rendition and he would tell you, you missed this note. You were supposed to sound but it sounded wow at that point. So as a choir, before coming to Hymnodia, I'm still a choir master. I was a choir master and I'm still a choir master. So you have experiences where you tell choristers, you made this mistake, and they're like, no, you are too fastidious, you pay attention to too much details.
Then you now meet
so meeting someone like
you meet Mr. Olawu, then you understand.
I was like, it's just a note, and then but you said you did this, you were not supposed to do that. So for me, it's a no. So I think I've learned to pay even much more attention to such details.
Your choir members are in trouble, right?
They are in trouble. They're in big trouble.
All right, it's still Hymnodia on radio, the special edition. We're talking about 30 minutes of us going live right here on boomradio.com.ng. My name is Shola Rogers. I'm hanging out with Dr. Jacob Enenche Okori.
Yes.
And I am emphasizing the doctor part because I'm happy that, yes, you were able to mix both. You know, your passion and your love for music. I've seen you grow from being a regular choir member to become a choir master in your church, in your local church, right?
Yes.
Then you came and put yourself through the rigors of becoming an intestant. You must agree with me that the art of hymn singing and hymn writing was dying before Hymnodia came.
Yes.
I told Jessica and Victor, I grew up listening to hymns a lot. You know, my parents belonged to two different type of churches, and those two churches were based on hymns. But somewhere along the line, we lost it. Do you agree that Hymnodia is a revolution that we should have had years ago?
In fact, I cannot help but say an overwhelming yes to that. I totally agree with you. Even from my own end as a student, I knew the challenges I had to pass through as even the choir master of a university, when everyone is interested in the jivey, the pop and all that, the recent compositions, and then you're like, no, let's sing these hymns are beautiful, these hymns are this, and they're like, no. It got to the point where I had to even start up a choir for myself designated towards singing just hymns, organizing events, annual events to promote hymns and the hymn singing and all that. So seeing Hymnodia taking that bold step to a much more bigger level was something that I really would say I thank God for. I thanked God for it then when I heard the concept of Hymnodia, and I still thank God for it now.
And do you think that they've stayed true to their plan?
Yes. In fact, to a very, not when I say to a very, to a, it's just a yes. There's no extent. The whole from the process of rendering songs, the hymn writing, everything is just centered around hymns and trying to create different, present hymns in different forms. Okay, if you say you don't want it the orthodox way,
you can actually
have it the R&B way.
Yeah,
you can still have
it's still a hymn,
and it's still a hymn.
Yeah.
So I think they've stayed true to that vision.
Okay, talking about staying true to visions and talking about creating hymns and all. How many hymns have you written as an individual?
Okay. Well, I can't count. It's not up to 100, but I've written quite a number of hymns. Quite a number.
When did you start writing hymns?
I started writing hymns and songs from the age of 15. When I was 15 years old.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I can say I've written quite a number. It's not as much as I would have loved it to be, because I had to balance it with my academic life.
Yeah, medical school is not a joke at all.
So it's not as much as I really would have loved it to be, but
you have written a lot.
I've written quite a number.
How many of your hymns have been performed or recorded?
My choir did an album, and I think in that album they recorded one of my hymn. Then I've also done a collaboration with a priest, a Catholic priest, Father Ralph Obiche, in which
where is your church?
I'm a member of St. Peter Clever Catholic Chaplaincy, University of Abuja. Also a member of the Catholic Youth Center, Immaculate Conception Choir, Catholic Youth Center, Makurdi. I'm also a member of the Cathedral Choir of the Our Lady of Perpetual Help Cathedral, Makurdi. So whenever I'm at home, I attend either of both churches. When I'm in Abuja, I attend the St. Peter Clever.
Which of the churches are you the choir master of?
I was the choir master of the St. Peter Clever Catholic Chaplaincy, University of Abuja.
Amazing. All right. So, this is Enenche writing hymns from the age of 15. What's the difference between the hymns you've written then and the hymns you write now that you've joined and become a part of Hymnodia?
Well, when I was much younger, I'm still young though, but when I was
we know you're young.
when I was much younger, my hymn writing was centered more on trying to show people how complex my thought process was at that age. So for a small piece of music, you would see
you more or less had a point to prove. Yeah,
exactly.
You had to make a point.
I had to make a point at that particular stage, but as I grew over the years, at least maybe maturity setting in and with God on my side, I began to modify that much more. But participating in Hymnodia has taught me to reflect more on especially the words of whatever hymn I'm writing, and then to let those words guide whatever music I would be using I'll be setting the lyrics of my hymn to. So it has really taught me that. That's taught me that in hymn writing, the sole aim is God. When you're writing a hymn, the first point that you should be thinking of is you should be thinking upwards more than thinking downwards and then inwards. So it has taught me to make my hymn writing much more God-centered and not man-centered.
In hymn writing, you have learned that the focus should be on God.
Yes.
And this is what you are taking away from Hymnodia.
Yes.
That's profound. That's profound. That's really, really profound. Okay, so let's stay on Hymnodia. Let's talk about it. We've not talked about one person, Dean Ben. Tell me your experiences with Dean Ben.
Well,
and how much of an influence has it been on you and other intestants?
Dean Ben, contrary to what people see
on the outside,
the mean Dean Ben.
Yeah, I know. The anchor for season 1 started calling him mean.
Afrobeat, pop, it's bar blues, all manner. We're like, oh my god, when is this going to end? And then if you made a mistake, you were going straight to the wilderness. So you just had to be on top of your game.
Nobody wants to go to the wilderness.
Nobody wants to go to the wilderness.
Time, they say, is not our friend.
Yeah.
Funny how time flies when we're having fun. But let's quickly talk about, as we round up now, let's quickly talk about the intestants you get. Jessica and Victor, intestants 1 and 2, incidentally or coincidentally, have left.
Yes.
You're number 15. You're leaving now.
Yes.
But we still have Jason, Yinka, Echezona, Christiana, Duke, Emmanuel, Ediomo, Elizabeth, Frank, Ogochukwu, Stephen, and Margaret. Now, nobody is up for possible eviction. There's nobody on probation this week. Yes. That's a relief, right?
Yes.
You can imagine what they are feeling, because you're one of them. You know how it feels.
Yes.
All right. However, because if I wish there was someone you would have predicted who would go home or who wouldn't go, but you're lucky that nobody's. So, who do you see in the top 4, top 3, top 4, top 5?
Okay. I see Steve making it to the top 5. I'll use top 5. I see Frank making it to the top 5.
Right.
I see Idiomo making it to the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
I see now between the two ladies. Don't get me wrong, they're
all good. We know that. We know that, but of course.
But between the two ladies, I see Ogochukwu making it to the top 5.
And one more person?
And one more person I see making it to top 5 is Echezona.
Echezona. All right. Enenche has given us his top 5. We'll be checking them to see how precise you are, as the matters unfold. Your parting shots and maybe your message to the executive producers, the organizers, and all of that. What would it be? Your parting shots and all of that. What would it be?
Well, it's going to be all gratitude. I'm really grateful to the executive producer, the producer, and the entire crew members of Hymnodia. You all have been amazing. You've been wonderful. You've shown to be men of and women of honor by keeping to your words and keeping to strictly to the mandates that God has given you. I really appreciate you for coming up with this venture, and it's my prayer that God will grow Hymnodia from grace to glory and from glory to greater glory, and that God will provide the means, whatever means that will be needed to sustain this vision. Thank you very much, Hymnodia.
Thank you very much, Hymnodia. Finally, what is the name of the hymn that you just wrote?
The name of the hymn
last week.
I just wrote last week is God Almighty, Fount of Healing. It's my reflection on more like a poetic talk with God on the events that have happened during the pandemic and are still happening, and an earnest prayer. It's me uniting my words of prayer with those of every other person all over the world to pray that God brings an end to this pandemic.
So can you sing us just one stanza as we close the show?
Okay.
You're gonna have to come close to the mic a bit.
Okay, I will take the.
How many stanzas are in your hymn?
It's a 4 stanza hymn.
Fantastic.
So I'll take the first stanza.
All right.
God Almighty, fount of healing, hear our prayer, O Lord, save us. See our sorrows, hear our pleading, mournfully rise our chorus. Heavenly Father, we draw near, to our doleful songs give ear. From this plague, Father, redeeming, cleanse our lands, repay our loss.
I am almost tempted to ask, that's your hymn?
Yeah.
You wrote this?
Yes.
On Hymnodia?
Yeah.
Whew. All right. It's a good note to end the show. We have already overshot by a couple of minutes, but I will be apologizing to my orgas them when they come through that door. Thank you to everybody behind the scenes, amazing people that we've been working with, Roland and Henry on the cameras, and of course out there our other colleagues who are doing a whole lot of stuff to make things go well, talking about Dolukbo and Tokumbo. And of course, everybody working with Hymnodia. We're talking about the entire crew of Hymnodia, everybody, and especially the executive producers, Kufre and Ezine Ekanem. God bless you guys. God guide you. God keep you. And we'll be back again next week with another intestine that really doesn't want to sit down here, but has to sit down anyway. Yeah?
Actually, there will be no intestines here next week.
Upper week.
Yeah.
Since there's nobody up for probation this week, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
But we'll be back with at least one or maybe 2. Could be 2. You never can tell. You never can tell.
We pray none of them comes.
Sadly and gladly they all have to. So we gotta go now. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. God bless you guys, and thank you to everybody out there. Go check out Hymnodia on radio. You can find Hymnodia also on this station Sunday morning 7 a.m. You listen to 1 hour of hymns, and on XLFM in Uyo you can also get to listen to Hymnodia on radio from 8 to 9 a.m. on Sunday mornings. Check out Hymnodia's website and follow Hymnodia on all the social media platforms. Hymnodia HQ on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Peace. Shola Rogers signing out.